Welcome back, Southwest Florida. So excited to get the men here with the money. Kirk and Patrick. Let's bump you in, fellas. One of America's great banks, Synovus. Patrick, when I say one of America's great banks, Synovus, how does that make you feel, man?
Yeah, it makes me feel great. It's a wonderful organization with a great team. It's gives a community bank feel to the local market, local decision making, and at the end of the day, we're here to help clients meet their financial goals.
And my understanding is you specialize in SBA.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So SBA does a great job of tapping into the most important businesses that make the American engine go. It's the small businesses around here, right?
Yeah, SBA is a great product to help businesses, particularly businesses looking to grow, expand, reach new markets. At the end of the day, hire more local folks to be working for them and just really improve the economy.
Tell us how SBA and a bank works together. You're two separate entities, but at the same time you partner together. You deliver you're the end product deliverer.
Yeah, that's correct. So the bank is the product deliverer. The SBA is a government organization. Its appointed leaders are set by the President of the United States. And essentially, we lend bank money, but we follow the protocols that the SBA has put in place. And as long as we follow the protocols properly, we get an insurance on that loan. So it allows us as a lender to maybe make a loan on a particular request that without that government guarantee, we might not have felt comfortable doing.
Would that define the difference between a conventional loan and the SBA loan?
Yeah, so the SBA loan, a couple of the caveats. Number one, it helps a lot of businesses that might not have enough equity or capital to put into a project. Number two, we can do longer term loans through SBA, so it may help reduce the loan payment for a business, which can help their cash flow. And then the third thing is they may not have the proper amount of collateral to secure a conventional loan. Mm-hmm. And with the SBA, as long as, again, we follow the protocol as a lender that we're supposed to, it'll allow us to look at those particular requests.
This particular type of financing, from your background, your illustrious background in financing, you think that's really good for businesses throughout the United States in terms of what they need to get accomplished?
Yes, sir. I was a banker like Kirk is for many years and used the SBA product for a lot of clients, and I fell in love with the product, and about 5 years ago dedicated my career to just SBA loans because I believe it's a great way for businesses to find capital and for banks to partner with those businesses to help them grow and help them hire more people.
You're the SBA guy for Synovus?
Yes, so I cover Central and West Florida, so I've got a big territory. I work with the local market and local bankers like Kirk as his dedicated partner to help bring the SBA product to the local market. And
Kirk, I know you're a VP of commercial lending. How do you guys tie in together? Certain dollar amounts may fit right into his, certain criteria of a loan may fit right into his, and y'all just kind of are able to hand it off that way?
Well, absolutely. It all goes back down to the need of the client. So, Patrick and I go on calls together and we find the specific need for a client. And if it can fit in the conventional world, then that's fine. We'll do that way. But if it makes sense that we, help the client with SBA financing, then Patrick and I work together and get it done through the SBA financing.
And the SBA continues to, Synovus, portfolio those loans. You manage those loans. They don't go disappearing out into to some other world, right?
Well, they stay on the book for a certain period of time, but it'll be seamless to the client because they'll still have that contact as far as myself or Patrick as being the relationship manager for their credit facility.
Now, I mentioned early on you were in the commercial lending department, which is more conventional. What types of deals do you look for?
Well, mine are going to be more of where Patrick is looking at maybe a longer term loan. Mine, especially on real estate, is going to look more of a 5 or 7 year term where it's a balloon payment at the end of that time period, and where Patrick has that 25-year term of the loan, which that's going to be one of the biggest differences outside of the lower down payment.
Yeah, I think Patrick told me off camera you can go up to $5 million.
Yes.
Yeah, you can still do a $5 million or less, or if it's less than $5 million, it goes to SBA?
Well, it all depends on the loan purpose. Really, you know, we had some clients that we do a mixture of SBA financing and conventional financing. You know, myself, I can go up to $75 million, but it is mainly depends on the need of the client, and we can do a joint venture where we can take care of their needs.
What are some of the ways a borrower can use an SBA loan?
Yeah, so there's multiple ways to use an SBA loan, and in consultation with Kirk and myself, we'll make sure that they're benefiting it from the best, but they can be looking to buy or build a new owner-occupied commercial building. They can look to build out their leasehold space. So if they're opening a new location and they need to build out the leasehold space, we can look at funding that, as well as their machinery and equipment. They can look at buying an existing business. So especially in Southwest Florida, a lot of folks are moving here from outside the state. If they come down here and they find a business that they're interested in buying, that's one way we can look at using the SBA loan. Also, another thing, if you got folks retiring and they need to sell their business to a partner or to a family member, we can look at funding that as well. And finally, big in Florida is exporting. So if a business is into exporting, the SBA has some special programs to help with export financing so that they can get products outside the U.S.
That's one of the reasons I like talking to Synovus. Every time I talk to Synovus, I'm a smarter person after the fact, because you guys are able to make it very simple that people can understand. Is that the spirit you have throughout your bank with all of your products? You try to make sure that the customers first, take time and explain to them what's best for them?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we believe in, I like to call it traditional banking, but it all goes back to our relationship manager, like Patrick and myself, is really just, going out to their operations, understanding their operations, and then providing or creating a solution that makes sense for them. We don't believe about just pushing a product. It's all about something that adds value to that respective business.
Let's talk about the application process for an SBA loan.
So I would like to add to what Kirk said. As I tell borrowers first time I meet them, I do SBA loans every day, and this may be the only time that they go through one. So it's our goal to help make them understand it and simplify it and help them. So the application process is very standard for any commercial loan that would be applied for. We're going to need financial history information, personal financial statement, tax returns, a detail on kind of what the project is they're trying to do and what the funds are for. That would be, for someone who's an existing business. If we do look at an acquisition or a startup, we do ask for a business plan and for future projections as well to get comfortable with, to understand that business is going to, make money.
I'm going to throw that word out there, pro forma.
Pro forma, yes, sir.
Hey, check this out. So why should one get their SBA loan from Synovus?
Yeah, it's a great question. SBA lending is very competitive. I will tell you, Synovus does a great job. First and foremost, we're a preferred lender with the SBA. It's not as predominant as it used to be, but what that means is the SBA trusts our bank enough to underwrite our loans and close them without them having to take a sneak peek at it. So that's saves some time for these loans. The other thing is we have a dedicated and very experienced team from the front line, like myself, to our underwriting team, our closing team, and our executive leadership. Hundreds of years of combined SBA experience that, at the end of the day, really understands the product and how to get it closed. And then finally, we have a very high close ratio for loans that we approve. If we approve a loan, we're committed to it, and we want to do our best to get it closed.
You mentioned closing. I know it can vary from time to time, from the time a person interfaces with you and the time a loan may close, but just give me a general idea of some different time frames a loan may close, as soon as or as late as.
Yeah, and that's a big expectation we like to set very early on. We'd rather, what's the saying, over deliver and under promise and over deliver, right? Yes. So 35 to 55, 60 days is a time frame from start to finish. There's a lot of due diligence that's involved, so sometimes it's out of our hand, like appraisals,
that sounds
surveys.
Pretty fast still.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's a good job. Kurt, let me get you to talk about a couple of things here. We talked about, wanting financials. All this kind of applies to all types of loans. People, a lot of times, they don't realize that one day they may be going to get a loan from a bank. So they need to make sure that they keep their financials, do their tax return, report their earnings so that they can show the growth of their company over a period of time. That's a big thing. If you were giving some advice to people, make sure they keep their financials tight. I don't know if they need to have an audit or a review or compilation. Just kind of talk about those kind of things.
Well, I think it all goes back into having a dedicated team around you. That's why, as far as relationship managers, we work with the client as well as their CPA. Having a good CPA on board and having an internal person who understands financials to do QuickBooks, to make sure you have, a good set of financials in place that we can evaluate. A lot of times we've gotten some financials that, it's the old saying, garbage in, garbage out. So you want to make sure you put some quality financials together, keep good records, because, when you are looking to get that financing, you want to have a good set of financials that banks can review and make a sound decision.
And so when they say, well, I made more money than this, but I didn't put it on my tax return, is that a red flag or what?
We've heard that before.
Too often.
But in the broad scheme of things, good financial bookkeeping is like just something that everybody should make sure that they put a lot of emphasis on. Right?
Absolutely, because that is, we're going to evaluate you, by your numbers. The numbers, they say that the numbers don't lie. We have to look at the numbers. Granted, we want to be able to look at your operations and see the vision that you have. But, at the end of the day, we got to make a sound decision based upon the numbers that you present.
Right. We see you guys are looking at businesses all the time. What are you seeing out there right now in terms of, not advice to anybody on what type of business they want to go into, but is tech and stuff like that really blowing? Like in my mind, I'm just thinking the computer world and things are like great industries moving in that direction. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of business acquisitions. So again, a lot of people moving to Florida or retiring from a corporate job and wanting to run a business. So business acquisitions. A lot of people are buying commercial real estate now. They don't want to pay rent anymore on a location, so they're looking and trying to find a building that they can own and grow into. And then the franchise world is huge. SBA is very accessible to the franchise world. There's a franchise list on the SBA website where you can find out if the franchise you're interested in is approved by the SBA.
Really?
There's hundreds and hundreds of franchises in all types of industries. And I'm seeing a lot of that. Again, I think it has a lot to do with people moving to Florida because I'm seeing a lot of those conversations as well.
Are you looking for down payment money, equity in the deal? Various ways in the SBA program?
Yeah, so the great thing about SBA is it's most transactions are 10% equity injection into the transaction, and that would be on the total amount. So if all in a loan request is $1 million, they would bring $100,000. With the SBA, we get to roll in the fees, the closing costs, and really simplify it for them.
Let's give a phone number people can reach you direct.
Yep, my direct number is 407-883-9659. You can always call me. You can always call Kirk directly as well with any SBA questions.
And Kirk, do your number again?
My number is 239-449-3138.
It's all appearing on the screen, and then that website is there as well. I'm coming back to you on this, Kirk. What states are you guys in?
We're in Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and South Carolina.
Inside joke.
That was excellent.
I'm ready this time.
We didn't have a Steve Harvey. Well, gentlemen, it's just been a pleasure having you both on the show. Thanks for hosting us here. Great food, great accommodations, and just kind of let people know where we are physically located right now. I know you're going to be moving from here, but tell our viewing audience where we are right now. We're out here in the Health Park area?
We're in the Health Park area right across from the hospital. Great location, and then willing to serve the community.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, let me bump you out. As the saying goes on this particular show, Miami has the oranges, but Synovus got the juice. We'll be right back.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello, everybody. This is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show. And if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch Lee Pitts Live on demand anytime. And also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lee Pitts Live, and there you go.